I've said it so many times and I'll say it once again. You can generate so many leads that it feels completely illegal. When I started out, I had no idea on how to generate leads and I didn't even know where to start. But over the last 5 years, we've generated thousands of leads with this proven method. We have achieved a 387% increase in the amount of leads we generated for one of our clients, and helped over 550 different businesses generate leads with this exact method, investing over 86 million on ads. This proven method has even enabled me to have my own company where we're currently 5 people working, and twice a year we're traveling to another country and working abroad. Today I'll tell you exactly how you generate as many leads as you want with these 6 simple steps, so you will never have to worry about not having enough leads. Now, let's dive into our first step. My name is Victor. I'm 24 years old, based in Copenhagen, where I run a digital marketing agency with 4 employees. The first step is to reduce the campaign availability period. When you reduce the period for which a campaign is valid, you get a whole range of different benefits. The first advantage is that you can suddenly run significantly more and efficient campaigns in one period. The next part is that it creates much more urgency with the customer because the period they can use the campaign is so much shorter. It also means that if your campaign isn't working, the period in which it's available isn't as long, instead of having a sale running all month that isn't very effective. This could sound very counterintuitive, but what this does is to apply some scarcity into the offer, which means that if the customer wants it, they have to execute on it right now. The second step is to create different content to constantly rotate. When you always have new content ready, you can constantly optimize and improve, and that way you avoid your ads fatiguing because you have the availability to switch the content to something that could be working. It also means that if you scale your budget and need more ads because they fatigue faster, you already have the setup ready for it. So it's a completely win-win. The third step is to adapt your marketing to the campaigns. This is something that's incredibly underrated. And the reason you should adapt all your marketing to it is that you get a compound interest effect on your marketing. You get a completely different momentum because if the customer sees an ad on Facebook or Instagram with your campaign and then subsequently sees a campaign on Google with the exact same message, it reminds them of something they've already seen, and then it has a much stronger effect. This is also something we in the marketing world calls to be top of mind, to always be remembered by the client. And if you come out with the same campaign, the same texting, the same offering, it has a much bigger compounding effect. The fourth step is to customize your landing page to the specific offer. This goes hand in hand with point number 3 that I just mentioned, but I've included this separately because it's incredibly important and mega underrated and something very few companies use. Building a landing page that specifically contains your offer gives you the opportunity to gather all of your USPs, your unique selling points, in one place and get as much volume through your offer as possible. You can try and turn this around and say, why wouldn't you do this? Why not get as much out of your campaign as possible when you already have it? This is something so few companies do. So if you just implement this, you're going to make as many leads as you ever wanted and even beat your competitors. The fifth is to adapt your sales and pitch to the campaigns. Adapt your sales and any pitch to the specific campaign so everything is and also appears much more specific and professional to the customer. An example could be that if you have a pitch for your sales, make sure the examples you have from other customers who have used this is fitting to the current campaign that you're running. And you don't mention examples that doesn't fit the very specific campaign. Let's take an example everybody knows of. It could be IKEA. they sell everything to your home. So if they have a campaign where they are currently trying to sell their kitchen hardware, it could be buy this new IKEA kitchen, you may be interested in it. But if the examples you get and the testimonials that they are giving you are of people who bought beds or tables or chairs instead, it doesn't reflect how happy the customers are for buying exactly the kitchen hardware that they are currently trying to sell. It doesn't really align and connect with you, because it's not something that you're not looking for testimonials for people buying chairs or buying tables or anything else. You're looking for the feedback that the customer gave to IKEA for their kitchen hardware. And making sure that those two things are fit just improves all of your marketing. The final step is to differentiate yourself from your competitors with a different or better offer. Don't create the exact same campaign as your competitors. And if you choose to do, make sure your game is much sharper than your competitors. You need to make it an easy choice, a no-brainer for the customer to choose you, and you need to have such a good campaign that your customers feel foolish not choosing you over everyone else. Imagine an industry. It could be companies selling curtains. They are all offering 30% discount. How would you as a consumer ever be able to pick the exact perfect solution for your house? Why would you choose A, B, C or D? Because they're all offering 30% off. But if you are company C, then instead of offering 30% off, you could offer 30% off and a guarantee. Or you could even offer 40% off if you want to beat them on the pricing and the discount. This just makes it a no-brainer for the customer to choose your company instead of all of your competitors. I wouldn't necessarily try to beat them on pricing, because that's one thing that most companies often are able to compete with. But instead, include a guarantee, include something that's very important for the customers that they are not sure or won't get at any of the other competitors. With these 6 simple steps, you're set up for success and able to generate so many leads it feels completely illegal.